Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and I haven't gone over the Kamala Harris Pence debate really for a few reasons. Number one, it was kind of a bread and circus sideshow without any real oomph or real content, just mainline talking points from both sides. On top of that, whether you like the moderator or you didn't like the moderator, neither one of these candidates answered any of the questions. If you watch that debate, every time they were posed with a question, even seemingly a layup, they had these predisposed talking points and answers that often had nothing to do with the question at hand. The moderator never circled around. One of the most glaring examples of this was when we were talking about the mental health or the physical well-being of both candidates, seeing as no matter who's elected, it's going to be the oldest president ever, okay? 74 or 78, and that is the bottom line. Now, by no means am I saying that Trump looks physically ill or that his mental capacity has gone down, but when you see Biden, it's pretty damn obvious, right? There were only a few moments of real contention or real content, and because of that, the media focused on this kind of awkward moment where Mike Pence had a fly on his head while Kamala Harris was trying to dress him and the administration down for their quote-unquote, pledge to racists and white nationalists and refusal to decry these things, even though they have many, many times. And that's why, as I watch these things and I watch these talking points, it really is just a distraction for the most part. And it was funny to me. I was talking about doing the video on this last night and doing a late night AMA with it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go and I'm going to throw Jeff Goldblum in there and make a fly joke. And lo and behold, it's already in the media. Fans want Jeff Goldblum to be the fly on SNL after VP debate. And after, letting everybody know how I felt, I was in a daily In Living Color sketch where Jim Carrey was playing some kind of Biden character, reminiscent of maybe a Fire Marshal Bill or something. Then 3.5, 4 weeks later, SNL actually hired Jim Carrey. So anything could happen. I'm going to break down how I felt about this debate. I'm going to break down packing the courts, what that actually means, whether the Supreme Court at this point has even done its jobs with checks and balances, because let's be quite frank, if you watched my interview with Whitney Webb yesterday, we talked about the march forward no matter what administration is in through what? The military-industrial complex, the media military-industrial complex, really, because it's the media that is promoting these talking points and how this COVID-19 84 Operation Warp Speed is moving at a military pace, because it is, in fact, a military operation. Excuse me. What you just heard right there, pretty harmful content, apparently. We're 6 months plus deep of being fully demonetized. Imagine you walk into your job one day and they say, look, we're not paying you anymore. And we're not sure if we're going to pay you anymore, but we'll let you know sometime in the future, maybe. And you're like, wait, what? And you can't reference why this is happening. No, you've been flagged as possible harmful content. I can't give you any specifics. Can't point to a video. Can't point to something you said or a graphic or any of that. But just hold tight and we'll get there. But keep doing your thing. Now, the real criminal thing, other than not allowing me to get super chats or monetize my channel after being shadow banned, after the algorithm already says that you can't recommend my videos, is that some people have YouTube Premium, and that revenue, the fans that are actually premium members, just doesn't come. It's like criminal. They're watching your content, they're part of the premium program, they're paying, and yet you're still not allowed on that. I get it. You're not going to let me have super chats, and you're not going to put advertisements for big pharma who I expose and big tech who I expose on the front of my page. I get it. Good for you. Good for you, Google, YouTube, Alphabet, Eric Schmidt, and our dark overlords in the tech industry. But, you know, we're pushing forward with your help. And that's how I was able to move my family out of New York State, which is becoming more and more and more authoritarian, Orwellian. Okay? Got to Iowa with your help. So $5, $10, $15, it means the world to me. Big donors, couldn't do it without you. Huge donation from a good friend of mine who may be helping me expand this whole operation in the near future, because you know that is also a big part of what I want to do. Guys, thumbs the video up, subscribe and share, join the Burmist Brigade. Remember, right here in the documentary section, right here, the playlist, you can check out all my documentaries for free. Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Shade the Motion Picture. We're going to be doing big things on Rockfin. Another way to support me, create the free Rockfin account right now. When I come back from New York after I get my car, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Central, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be live and exclusive on Rockfin for free. For free. We're then going to make that premium content afterwards. We're going to go with a pseudo Jimmy Dore model after the fact to try to keep this ball rolling in case that YouTube just kicks me off altogether. It's a very real possibility. So, let's talk about the fly and the debate and the Johnny nonsense that went on there. The fly. Who cares? How is this even a talking point? What I didn't like is that after the fact, which was extremely predictable, the identity politics that was played almost universally across the board of, you know, these two women, and that Mike Pence kept interrupting. Excuse me, I'm talking. I'm talking now. Bitch, you talk to me like that, I'm going to talk to you like any other human being. That's right. I don't care if you're a woman. I don't care if you're a woman of color. Doesn't make a difference to me. You're a human being. You need to be addressed. When you are lying, which she did over and over and over and over and over again, and I contend that point, I want to be heard. And you know, I recently had the same thing happen to me, you know, with this, I mean, black, you know, person who doesn't know what they identify as. I wouldn't want to call them a cross-dresser, even though they're a cross-dresser. They, you know, they're not transgender, but I don't even know what they believe. But every time they would start, you know, yelling at me and talking at me, and I say, calm down. Oh, now I'm a racist. I'm a bigot. Right? Just like every time that Pence tried to correct a wrongful statement, oh, he's mansplaining. Let me explain something to thinking people. These connotations hold absolutely zero value and significance. Zero value and significance. What you need to run on are your ideas and actions. Okay? Not your gender, not the color of your skin. Okay, that doesn't matter to me. You, Kamala Harris, are very obviously a minion of a predator class and a social climber, a proven social climber that will do anything she's told for power. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if a man tells it to her or a woman. Doesn't matter if it's a black man or a white man or an Asian man. It would not matter. If they hold power, she will suckle at their teats. That's the bottom line. And I'm so done with this, oh, we need to have civility. That first debate with Biden and Trump was a shit show. Whether or not it was a shit show, I want to say this. I have no respect for these people, left or right. Okay? So if I was up there on stage with Mike Pence, I would be grilling him about allowing governors to take these executive actions without pushing back, playing into the COVID-19 84 nonsense, right? 100%. And I would take him to task on Julian Assange and many other things. I would also take him to task on what? The real issues with Operation Warp Speed. Not the Trump vaccine, But all these programs, and why in the fuck are we letting Bill Gates dictate all these things across the world about a global vaccination program? And why are we letting, in the same breath, Andrew Cuomo say that China did a better job as he spouts off that they will be the first COVID-free and fully vaccinated state in the union? None of this stuff brought up. None of it. Okay? Big problems. Now, when Pence talks about packing the courts, he's right. And that is relatively scary, but you also have to ask yourself, how much has the Supreme Court really done for you? Seriously. We should have checks and balances. We no longer have them. The judicial, the executive, and the legislative, no, we have a national security state where elements of the executive branch, not even under the executive himself, the President of the United States, really run things and are immune to prosecution no matter how much evidence comes out. If that's not very apparent to you right now, during these Russiagate documents spilling out and being declassified, showing the whole thing was an operation of Brennan and others, right? Just like Seymour Hersh told you. Just like Seymour Hersh told you. Media blackouts everywhere. None of those people are going to jail. Bill Barr is the deep state. That's why we've done several videos on it. We're not new to the game here. All right? This is a problem. Is it dangerous to then say we're going to put more judges? Yeah, it is. Because the tyranny becomes more and more outward. That is a real issue. And Biden and Harris aren't answering the question because we already know the answer. We already know the answer. And I'm not trying to cheerlead for Pence or his side. I thought he was reserved. I thought that although his answers were already, pre-scripted, they were much better than Harris's. But Harris comes off as a nasty person, period. I mean, that's who she is. I can't imagine wanting to vote for somebody like that who literally looks and feels like a supervillain. Trump, I mean, he never had that super villain feel. It was more like that bad boy, says what he wants kind of thing. I've discussed all this previously, and he's continued with that. Look, we're in a very, very important time in this country and the world where the Great Reset, the consolidation of power, it's all outwardly in our face. It's all outwardly in our face. And when Kamala Harris says she's not going to trust a vaccine from this president, well, does that mean that if they're not able to rig the election, because I predict they lose in a landslide. The polls are ridiculous. You already see them trying to set things up with their mail-in voting fraud. And it is fraud. I'm sorry. If you're hanging on to the fact that that's not going to be gamed and is a bad idea moving forward, you're not paying attention. You're not paying attention at all, really. Are you telling me that if you're not able to game the system, you're just going to keep speaking out against vaccines for 4 years? Of course not. Of course not. That's not what this really is. And the fact that Pence talked about them wanting to that side wanting to lock things down again, I think was important. But what he didn't talk about, and he should have, is that our vaccine's not going to be mandatory. If you produce a vaccine, will it be mandatory? Your administration. Another question, not even brought up. So, as I wrap things up, guys, I just want you to know that there's a time and a place for these things. I'm glad they happen. But when you see the media glomming onto the fly and the racism and the mansplaining and the identity politics, there is no substance there. There is no substance on how we are going to create a better society or, for instance, move this country forward after the largest shutdown of all time, the most authoritarian and draconian rules set upon us by our governors, our mayors, and our local governments. How are we going to move forward? That's what I want to know. How are we going to resist this automation nation, transhumanist agenda that is clearly being promoted by the predator class and their minions? That's what I want to know. Guys, thumbs the video up, subscribe, and share. Join the Burmist Brigade if you're new to the channel. Remember, it's not about left or right here. It's about right and wrong always, always, always. If you can donate $5, $10, $15, it means the world to me. Big donors couldn't do it without you. Again, I really would love to try to hit that $5,000 goal this month. I know we started a week late, but I mean, guys, I'm still pretty banged up. I still haven't gotten all the way moved in. Maybe over the next couple days, I'm going to be able to do that. I'm really excited to be here. I'm really excited to move forward. And just so people understand, so many people think that, oh, he's a big city boy from New York. If you watch my walk and talks, that ain't no big city. I'm an upstate guy. In fact, the area I moved into here is much more urban and has a lot more going on. The quad cities, and I'm really enjoying it so far. Hopefully you can see it in my face. I don't wake up angry. I'm not going to bed angry. When I go and get a coffee in the morning, I don't have to wear a mask. Life is good. The kids in school, the kid had her first day. One of them had their first day in school, actually attended school for the first time since March of last year. So things are going well so far here. So if you can support me, please do. Make sure to thumbs the video up, subscribe, and share. Check these videos out. Share individual videos not only on your page, not only on social media, but DM them to people and tell them why they need to watch this. If they've posted an opinion that you know is false, that's easily debunkable, that's something that I've gone over, please individually give them a video. Have them watch it that way. That's how you reach people. Remember, the doc's free in the playlist section, and Rockfin is another great way to support me. Make sure you at least have the free account and you're following me over there. Guys, I love you. Thanks for spending some time with me, and I will see you all on the flip side.